Welcome back to this World of Warcraft Let's Play. You're Sambo, and as you can see, we're about to enter our dungeon, Ragefire Chasm, that we've been waiting for, so we're just going to go straight into it, entering this. And of course, we wanted to get onto this well before we turn level 22, or else we wouldn't be able to use the dungeon finder. So there we go, we lucked out and we got a Q pop. Hopefully we'll have a good run in here. And what have we got ourselves? We've got ourselves Big Freddy, a 15 human paladin. We've got a healer and he's the tank. We've got a 16 night elf priest as a healer. We've got a human paladin again as DPS. We've got a Draenei hunter, and of course we've got myself. Let's say hello. Hi, hi. I'm going to give Norana there, no, Big Freddy dungeon lead. So we're going to right click on there and promote them to guide. Big Freddy gave you lead, just going to let them know. Right, let's pull out Ragnaros, shall we? Leave Ragnaros as a little companion. Right, and one of these hunters has unfortunately sent their pet off already. That's no good. We'll help him out getting this earth borer. We go. Okay, so the tank is on his on the mark already. He's taking on one of these molten elementals. I'm dual screening. Okay, that's very interesting. Thank you for that. Not sure what that means, but the healer needs to be. Where is the healer? There we go. I was going to say the healer needs to actually heal the tank. Right, hopefully, looks like it's a half decent group. They're not all rushing through. Actually, to be honest, that's another thing in WoW. People always complain about the quality of the players and how they're rubbish and rude and all the rest of it. You know, just like any MMO, you do get your fair share of them. Recently, I've found, because the dungeons have been getting a lot harder, the quality of player that you tend to get is a lot better. Now, we seem to have lost somebody there. Norana. Let's just tell them. Please re-queue us. There we go, because we've lost a DPS. Somebody either just left or got disconnected. Now, of course, if you watched our previous episode where we did another dungeon run, you'll know that we can now actually see maps in these dungeons. And there we go. Yes, we'll kick her. By the way, that somebody voted to kick the player that left, and we're just going to re-queue and accept our role there of DPS. And it says there you're now queued in the dungeon finder. So you can see up here, even though we're in here, we actually are now queuing for another DPS. So even though we've already started the run, if somebody does leave, and there's some blacksmithing plans too, somebody leaves, we'll greet on those, you can actually re-queue for it, so it's not so bad. It's a really, really handy tool. Right, so yes, as I was saying, you've now got maps in the dungeons, and you can see here, oh, there's somebody just joined us. It's even marking where the bosses are, which is very handy. It used to be quite hard to get around. Whoops, and what happened there? Oh, that person joined and then left again. Not sure why. And there's a mob who has aggroed onto the healer. Let's lock them down with Frost Nova so we can help out there. Because, of course, we don't want the mobs beating up on our healer at all. So, of course, the tank did very well there. He came over and taunted that mob off the healer, which is exactly what you should do. We can help out by locking them in place with our crowd control as well. You can also do a bit of an AoE there with our cone of cold, and if any one of these mobs starts getting really nasty, we can also polymorph them, of course. And what you generally do is mark the target that you're going to polymorph, just so other players know not to damage it, because of course if they damage a polymorph target, it's going to unpolymorph, it's going to break free, so you don't want that. Got a shield there, we'll just greed on that, because of course it's not something we can use right now. So slowly working our way through the dungeon, and you can see again, we just let the tank get a bit of aggro up front before we start blasting away with the damage. Because of course if we open with our high DPS spells, we're going to pull the mobs onto us, and we don't want that. We want the tank being the one that's being smacked down, because of course we can't take any hits because we are so squishy. And we got ourselves the clear casting there, which is a nice free cast. And of course we can stay way back here because we're so ranged. Alright, so we're now queued in the dungeon finder once more. So hopefully we'll find another player. Because we already have a tank and a healer, shouldn't be too hard to find. And there we go, Weapon X has just joined the party. And they are a human rogue, so nice high DPS there. You can see there that they will probably join us wherever. They generally tend to arrive, there they are, they've just arrived right there. Wherever the party leader is, that's where they will actually turn up. So we'll say hello.
Greetings.
And we've got a nice buff there. We've got a power word Fortitude. That is a priest buff that they've given to us, and it probably works on the whole party, giving our stamina a 15-point boost, so that will actually increase our hit points, of course. So if you're a priest, you definitely want to be casting that buff on the rest of the party, and that's this guy here, Chias, who gave us that buff. Very handy. And paladins can give us buffs as well, and paladin has a thing called a devotion aura. You can see it up there. It's increasing everybody's armor by 46. So just if you're a paladin, you've got a whole bunch of different auras that you can choose. Depending on the situation, he's chosen that one, and that's very handy, of course, giving us all armor. And of course, we can also see everybody's health status here on our party interface. Very handy. You can also see, you might be able to see there, see the green that appears at the end of Big Freddy. That's showing what the incoming heal is going to do to that particular party as well. Oh, so I see what that person was saying about Big Freddy and Little Freddy. It's actually that someone dual boxing. So I'll take a moment to explain that. That's someone actually rolling two characters at once. So they're playing on two different instances of WoW, either on the same computer or on two different computers, but controlling it from the one person. So a lot of people do that. You see quite often people dual boxing with up to 5 characters all at once. And that just means that they can basically play the game and level 5 characters at once. And yes, it's legal. Blizzard have come out and said, whilst it's not something that we officially endorse, it's not something that we'll ever, ban or anything like that. So they don't mind it, because at the end of the day, it is still one person actually having to control all of those characters. So it's kind of not cheating, really. And here's Oglefin, by the way, who, if we look in our dungeon journal and we go to, oh, it's not here. No, because there's no classic things in here. You'll see that the first boss was in fact there, Oglefin, and he's got himself a mace that he drops. Very nice, in the shape of a bone. We can't really need on that because it's not our particular class's tool, so we'll just greed on it. There we go. So we're making our way slowly. Mage weapon. 3 strength. No, it's not a mage weapon. It's 3 strength, so alright, let's carry on here. Where are we going to go? Who's he going to pull? Pull that one there. Let's actually mark these for him. I'm going to polymorph that guy there. So the recognised thing for a polymorph sheep is a moon. So if you've got a moon on a target, that generally means don't attack it, because he's saying there's no need for sheeps, because it means that you've actually polymorphed the target. So if you attack it, of course, it's going to break the polymorph. So there we go, just showing you how that works. And of course, basically to target, to put a mark on anyone, you just click on them, and then you can click on these targets up here. Alright, so we can click on the main boss there and put a skull on it. The skull is, again, the recognised symbol for the main target. So we can help here. It's normally very handy when you have a whole bunch of mobs in a group and you need to disable one. So you'll basically mark one with an X, one with the skull, of course, that's the main target. The red X is generally the secondary target or the off-tank target. And then if you need to crowd control any, again, the sheep is basically the moon symbol. That's the recognised symbol for sheeping, as I said before. The purple diamond there, that's a rogue sap. So of course if you're a rogue you know exactly what that is. Rogues can disable mobs by sapping them. It basically puts them to sleep on the spot. The blue square is generally an ice trap, which is from a hunter. And the green triangle is normally a hex from a shaman, which will turn the mob into a frog. So it pays to sort of know what the symbols are going to be used for. And of course, a good tank or a good party leader will actually explain them at the beginning of the run anyway. And there's somebody who has leveled. Let's congratulate them. Congratulate.
The day is yours.
There we go, well done. So they've leveled up to level 17. And they've bowed graciously at us. That's nice. Right, and again, if you ever get lost, you can look at your map and see where they all are, where the rest of your party are on the map, and they're all coloured by their class colours there. Paladin, yellow being the rogue, white being the priest, and of course myself, who would be blue. A mage's colour is blue. Now, by the way, with your objective tracker here, you can actually get rid of them just by clicking on the little symbol there. And the good old familiar sound of a clear cast, so let's use that to cast off our Arcane Blast. By the way, the Arcane Blast, as you build up that buff, you can see here 20% damage, 30-40, it also increases the amount of mana that it actually costs to cast. So just be aware of that as well as you're building up that particular buff. Oh, and I love this game. I love running through the classic dungeons. I do love me some dungeon running. You can see I'm top of the DPS here, which isn't surprising, given that I'm probably a higher level than most of the people here. And of course I'm a high damage spec as well. Arcane in my talent tree here. Arcane is a very high output damage in the Cataclysm expansion. And another clear cast there, popping off nice and regularly, very handy. And the healer is doing a good job as well, by the way. He's only level 15, so he's going to have a limited mana pool. And of course, if the tank gets into trouble, he's really going to struggle. But he is doing very well, I must say. Now, of course, normally, and there you go, the rogue has gone into stealth mode too, by the way. Normally speaking, you get very chatty parties. Of course, it's difficult for me to play and chat and type at the same time, so that's why I'm not being very talkative in the run. But it's always nice to say hello to your fellow players and be polite in groups. Nobody likes a butthead. And this group is actually playing really well. Nobody's racing on ahead of the tank and pulling the mobs. Quite often when you get inexperienced players, what you'll find is that a class like, for example, myself, a mage, will start firing off at these mobs, and of course what that means is that you draw aggro onto yourself and not the tank, and that's just bad news for everyone. So don't do that. If you're a new player to WoW, wait for the tank to pull the mobs, because it just means that the healer has to heal you, waste his precious mana healing you. Oh, and there we go. Reputation with Gilneas has increased by 15. I am now revered with Gilneas. Let's hit you. You can see there, that's my first revered reputation. Very happy about that. But yeah, if you're doing that in a dungeon run, you're just actually making the run go longer, and you're using up the healer's mana when they shouldn't be. They're actually healing you rather than the tank. And of course, that means that you are putting your party at risk of wiping, and you absolutely do not want to do that. So I always just wait a little bit for the tank to gain aggro until all the mobs are beating up on him, and then let loose with your high DPS spells, etc, etc. Right, so we're making our way through the Ragefire Chasm. By the way, again, a lot of people don't know where the Ragefire Chasm is, because they've only been playing WoW since the Dungeon Finder came out. It's a real shame. Now, by the way, this is another boss here. This is Taragaman the Hungerer, very famous boss in WoW, because he's again one of the early bosses that you come up against. So he's got himself 8,900 hit points here, so we're going to be definitely dealing it to him, and he's got some angry mobs there as well. I'm going to sheep that one there. I'm going to put a symbol on him. We'll sheep him just because he's beating up on the other DPS. There we go. Oops, and somebody... oh dear, oh dear. Not sure what's going on there. Somebody's decided that they want that to be a target, so okay, we'll do that. We'll get rid of the ad first. So the party leader, decided, hey, let's get rid of that mob. There we go. All right, now we can go for the boss. And of course, this boss drops some very nice loot. A lot of the loot that you can get from here definitely sees you through into your later levels. Now, another good thing about this raid frames that I'm using in the party mode here, that's under our portraits there, you can see who has got aggro, because you probably can't tell on the YouTube video, but there's a little red inner outline there, and that's always going to show who has got aggro. And by the way, it will show, if I was to pick up aggro a little bit, it would show a yellow inner circle around my... Oh, there we go, Ragefire Chasm has been done. A nice achievement there, because we got that particular boss, and we got some crystalline cuffs, and they are definitely nice there. A mage drop there, because they do stamina, intellect, and spirit, so I'm going to need on those. And no one should have a problem with me needing on them at all. There we go. Now we've also got another optional boss that we can carry on and do, but Big Freddy left the party. Oh dear. So everyone's gone. I'm going to say, anyone want to carry on? Can we do it? Not sure if we can. We can give it a go. They say no, too high for this. Who is the leader? Let's have a look here. I don't think we can actually... I don't think we can do anything. No, we can't carry on because everybody left. So, did I get myself my braces? Let's check on there. Who won the braces? Crystalline cuffs, I've selected need. Nobody has actually got them yet, so that'll be interesting to see. Anyhow, you can see that a lot of people do leave. I mean, to me, it's a bit silly because it's halfway through the dungeon here, and there are still 2 optional bosses to get, but a lot of people just, they don't care. They just want to actually get out of here. I myself absolutely adore running dungeons, as you can tell, but I'm just waiting for someone needs to, let's have a look here, crystalline cuffs. Yeah, someone needs to select something, an option on the cuffs, and they haven't. I'm not sure. I'm going to ask him. Let's see if he actually selected anything on here. Crystalline cuffs. Yes, so somebody hasn't. I guess they will eventually time out, and we'll just get them in our bags. So we're going to say bye to him.
The scythe is our salvation.
That's okay. We got our achievement for Ragefire Chasm there. Defeat Taragaman the Hungerer. That's all we needed to do. And of course now we'll be able to choose something else on our dungeon finder. So hopefully those cuffs will turn up in our bags. They haven't as yet. I'd imagine that they would. So we're going to say bye to him, and of course we'll leave the party just by right clicking here and clicking on leave party. There we go. Alright, so there we go. That was a successful run. Very short, but it's a shame, like I said, that the other guys didn't want to actually carry on through to the other end bosses. Hopefully we'll get the braces, and that's another dungeon down for our achievement list. And of course we also get a nice stack of XP for that as well, as you can see. Alright, so we'll carry on with our normal questing in our other episode. Until then, I certainly hope you enjoyed that little dungeon run, and what will be up next in terms of dungeons is probably Wailing Caverns, because if we look at the random dungeon finder, it's only going to throw us in Shadowfang Keep, excuse me, on a random note, so we need to actually manually select Wailing Caverns, which is another fun run, but we've got till the end of level 25, i.e. level 26 to do that, so there's no rush there. So I certainly hope you'll join us in the next episode. Until then, it's me, Sambo, and of course Seraph is saying take care, hope you're having a great day, we'll see you later, and bye bye.